This is BS with Joe. News, culture, and crazy. One blunt conversation at a time. If it feels like the rules change depending on who you are, maybe the rules aren't rules at all. Maybe they're levers. Tonight, EBT myths, housing reality, immigration and prices, the January 6th chain of command, and the gun policy whiplash that whips everybody.
Yeah.
This is BS with Joe.
Set the table for me.
The big picture, people feel like they're getting played. Groceries cost more, rent is insane, laws flip-flop, and when they ask why, it turns into a jargon soup. So tonight, we do what we do. Strip it down and to basically what you can see. You know, name what's an opinion and plant the stake where the facts actually are.
Yeah. So let's start with the grocery cart. This is a viral idea that you hand out EBT, demand explodes, prices soar. Look, people on SNAP buy food.
Yeah.
That's the point. But who's actually on SNAP? That's the question. A lot of kids, seniors, low-income workers, families, yes. Big slice of white, especially in industrialized regions, like the coal belt and other areas.
And where those Rubbermaid plants and Tupperware plants have moved away. And
where a lot of
Derry,
industries
Indiana
have moved out. You look at even Michigan.
Right.
The meme that all benefits go to newcomers is a great internet flamethrower and a lousy reality check.
That it is. The part folks feel in their bones is price pain. Eggs spiked after the bird flu. Beef went up because the herd shrank in drought and heat. I mean, it's what pound of ground beef is $7.50.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
That's one of the reasons why some of it's coming from Argentina.
True. But those are supply hits. You can disagree all day on policy, but supply shocks don't care about what jersey you're wearing.
Correct. Translation, some of this was bad planning. Some was bad luck. And some was predictable because we built brittle systems.
Yeah.
You hit one link, processing plant, a feed transportation, and the aisles get ugly.
Yeah. So we were on a phone call earlier. You were talking about housing.
Yes.
And you're right. Builders keep going luxury because the math pencils. Land costs, codes, impact fees, financing, all of that pushes towards granite countertops, even if Formica will do.
Yeah, most people can't afford a McMansion or luxury apartments. And by pulling the permits for starter homes in the metro, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Right.
You'll meet zoning minimums the size of a football field and parking lot requirements for a car you don't even own. The move is at the speed of cold molasses on getting anything passed.
Right.
And neighbors who show up just in time to stop it. Yeah, because, oh, don't build that there. Don't build this here.
Right.
It stops all the building.
Well, except for the really expensive ones.
Right. And that's all they're building anymore.
Right. You add immigration or domestic migration to the market that won't let you build, and rents are just going to climb.
Yeah.
So it's not a mystery, it's arithmetic.
Right. And the government's also doing Section 8 housing with now luxury apartments. It's going to cause regular homes and regular apartments to even score and make it harder to get into.
True.
So the solution isn't spicy, but it works. Loosen the zoning choke points, speed approvals, build more homes that people can actually buy, and stop pretending luxury is simply trickled down fast enough that a matter of years.
Yeah. A lot of politicians have talked about making more affordable housing, but nobody seems to do anything about it.
No, and another thing they're also talking about is a 50-year loan or mortgage.
Yeah.
The amount of
even
interest,
get a 30-year mortgage.
right?
Old.
Yeah, a lot of us are too old, and if you're young, by the time you pay it off, if you survive, you're paid more in interest than you did even in the payment. And you're talking about bringing the payments down by maybe $200 a month,
right,
for a 50-year loan.
And you're paying twice the amount for the house.
Right. The same thing with automobiles.
Right.
You're
the
getting
longer-
automobiles now for 8-year loans
It's because they
instead
want way
of
too much money for the car.
a lot of
I
it
mean,
is
a Ford pickup truck is over $100,000 now.
a lot of it is supply and demand because the factories aren't here anymore.
Right. And also they got stupid with all the bells and whistles. I mean, I don't need a computer on my dashboard. I just don't.
Right. Not only the bells and whistles, but also a lot of legislative, like regulatory. It's got to meet this mile per gallon for this size of a vehicle.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why pickups are $100,000 or more.
And you also said something that a lot of people are talking about is we're in a cold civil war.
Yes.
That fear is pretty simple. If millions more people show up in 4 years, demand jumps, everything. Housing, food, fuel, cars. That part's intuitive. What's messy is that immigration also adds workers and production. So whether prices go up or not depends on whether your city supply lets it breathe.
True, but a lot of immigration, the immigrants that are working in the U.S. are doing medial to slave labor like jobs.
Illegally driving trucks.
Right. They're suppressing the wage growth.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like if you got illegal immigrant driving a semi truck that shouldn't be driving a semi truck, they're doing it at bottom dollar.
Oh yeah,
So they're pricing out the regular truckers who make a living off of trucking.
true.
So if you can't build homes, you can't expand lanes for transit, then the population growth and foreign and domestic lands in pain.
Right.
If you build, it lands to growth. And yes, separate issue, legal versus illegal follows border management. Asylum rules will all the real fights worth having, but don't skip the math if you swing the hammer.
Yeah. I mean, where it turns toxic is when people start believing the system punishes them for being the wrong kind of American. That's gasoline. The antidote is equal rules, visible enforcement, and receipts, not vibes.
Right. And a lot of the divisiveness, I think, is also being pushed by the politicians.
Well, yeah.
And that also brings us up to our next topic, January 6th.
The hot coal.
Yeah, you said it. A lot of folks believe that it was a setup. A narrow part of the narrow part that I'm planting my flag on is the guard chain of command was a mess.
I agree.
The intel was sloppy and the decision making moved like it was molasses.
Right. And speakers don't command the guard. That runs through the Department of Defense. Meanwhile, the Capitol Police, it was built like a 3-person stop sign. Could politicians have done more? Faster? Sure. Were there bad calls? Oh yeah, there were bad calls. Does that prove a false flag operation? It's kind of a leap across the canyon. So we hold two truths: catastrophic failure, and not every catastrophic failure is a conspiracy.
Right. And the production path forward is boring. Fix the intel plumbing simply and simplify the command tree, set the clock-based triggers for the guard support.
Right.
And don't let optics outweigh the security of the building.
Yeah. And on that phone call, you also said that before COVID, masking at protests was illegal across the board.
Right. Before COVID, you couldn't go to a protest or go to an event and have a mask on because it leads to criminality.
Well,
because they're disguised.
Some places had anti-mask laws and some didn't.
Right.
Post-COVID, some of them doubled down, some didn't.
Right.
The through line is identification versus safety.
Right. But now there's no longer need to have a mask for safety. COVID's not going around anymore.
Well, the ICE agents need the mask for safety.
Right. I'm not talking about ICE agents. I'm not talking about federal.
Well, you talk about masks, people are going to think we're talking about ICE agents.
True, because that's what we've been talking about. But what I'm talking about is a lot of Antifa members.
Right. The protesters.
A lot of protesters wear masks, and a lot of people wear masks as a form of protest because they want free health care.
So where do you plant the bright red line?
That's a good answer. A good question. It's never okay. we're seeing killings and assaults on different fringes. The answer isn't charge criminals, protect speech, don't normalize malice as politics.
I have to agree with that. But let's talk about that gun regulation whiplash. Bump stocks, Supreme Court said ATF overreached. If Congress wants a ban, write a law. Braces, ATF tried to reclassify a ton of pistols as short-barreled rifles. The courts hammered him on that. And a lot of the rule is effectively on ice. Ghost guns, that's a different lane. The rule limiting buy a kit, no serial stuff, that's standing.
One of the things that is becoming more and more clear to me about the Second Amendment stuff is either ban all firearms or let people have firearms. Because having this classified as, oh, this may be somewhat illegal, this is okay. We're talking now, you got different states talking about Glocks and Glock switches.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I mean, just ban, if you're going to do it, just ban all guns. If not, let people have guns. There's a reason why we have the Second Amendment.
They're not going to ban all guns.
No, but I mean, that's the thing. They're talking about once it's a slippery slope. Once you start banning one type of firearm, you're going to start banning all kinds of other firearms.
So we stop letting agencies yo-yo millions of owners by guidance letters.
Yes.
And stop letting Congress dodge hard votes.
Yes. If it needs to be a law, pass a law. If it needs a warrant, serve the warrant right.
Right. Not Malinowski.
Yes. Or even Breonna Taylor.
Yeah.
You look at it's both ways that those warrants were served were incorrect.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if it needs a fact, just cite it.
Right.
You also mentioned the story about a CDL with an unknown name.
Yeah, that was brought to me by my wife. She hears a lot of things from other individuals, and with the amount of
I had never heard of that one.
I haven't heard of it either, and I've been looking on the internet for that. I did not see anything. But
if that did happen, federal rules require verified identity and a lawful presence for a CDL, not a regular license, full stop. If that happened, that's not a loophole. That's a violation.
Correct. And that's the problem is with all the things that have been happening with all the individuals that have been driving commercial vehicles who should not be driving commercial vehicles.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon for somebody to think, oh, they just gave somebody a driver's license with unknown name.
I hope they didn't. I mean,
yeah, that is truly, then, that part, that county or city or state is truly lost.
People hear one crazy story and it fits how they already feel. The system works for somebody else, right? The only antidote is a quick, transparent verification. Here's the rule. Here's the audit. Here's the fix if it broke.
Correct.
It's all right. So you asked me whether the shutdown brinkmanship is about power, not country.
That's what it feels like to me. You look at the top 10%, it's more of...
You're talking about the 10% that vote in the primaries.
Correct. The top 10% that vote in the primaries who punish and compromises, that pushes both parties to play chicken with real people's lives. Food benefits, rent vouchers, paychecks. You look at the shutdown.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. With Chuck Schumer and a lot of Democratic Party members wanting more money for funding different projects that don't work, and we're already broke.
Yeah.
And the Republicans are just wanting to pass to keep the government running. And they voted no against that because they wanted to spend more money.
They know that they're not going to get what they want. So they're trying to hold their feet to the coals to get it.
Right. And not only that, but here's the thing. If they also pass a bill, like they held back and they fought, and then let's say the Republicans cave, because face it, most Republicans cave so they could keep the government open, and they get the spending bill so they could keep certain things open until 2026 when the midterms come around.
All right. What if automatic continuing resolutions came about so agencies can't be turned into hostages?
You're correct. Not only agencies, but also food with EBT
right.
and SNAP. airlines.
But how would that work with the automatic continuing resolution? Basically, the bare minimum that we need to run the government.
Pretty much. It keeps everything funded to keep everything going.
I don't think they'll do it.
Well, the thing is, it passed. And a lot of things that...
Right. The government shutdown is over at this point.
Well, not necessarily. It passed the Senate. It still got past the House, and Trump's got to sign it.
The House right now.
Yes. Yeah. We may know something about it today. So by the time this airs, we may have all the information on that.
Right. Here's where I land. All right. We can debate immigration numbers and border policy hard. We can argue gun regs hard. We can fight over zoning and budgets hard. But if the rules feel weaponized, you don't win people back with lectures. You win them back by making law predictable, the process visible, and the enforcement even-handed. When the defendant is an influencer with a gun channel or a protester in a black hoodie.
Yeah, and we're watching this, and you feel unseen.
That was a nod to Matt, by the way.
Yeah, Matt Hoffman. Yeah, Hoover. That's right. Matt Hoover.
CRF.
Firearms. For those who follow gun channels.
Yeah.
That's a direct violation of freedom of speech.
I fully agree.
Because his intent wasn't to have people build machine guns. His intent was to sell a business card.
I'm working on a podcast on that. I'm just waiting to find out what his appeal. I'm waiting for that result.
Yes. His wife's been having a new channel instead of CSR Firearms. It's Tactical Only Fans.
Okay.
I believe that's the channel name. I don't know for sure. But and I think that's it. Got anything else, Joe?
Just levers, not rules.
Yeah.
If you want a country instead of a cage match, you just fix the levers.
Right. Also, with all the levers that's being pulled or not pulled, a lot of MAGA is feeling like Trump's not doing enough, or he's not doing as much as he should. Everybody's talking about prices need to come down.
Everything he tries to do, they're coming after him in the courts.
Yeah. A lot of it's tied up in courts. They're even talking about his tariffs in the courts and other things like that. Not only that, but inside his administration, he's got a lot of individuals that are tying things up and not moving things along the way they should.
I agree.
He also hasn't come to the press about it as much. He's talking about other things to the press.
$2,000
stimulus check. Yeah. That I don't think will help. I think that'll
I don't think it's going to happen. Congress holds the purse strings. They have to approve that.
They have to approve it, and it's not going to happen. Yeah. Plus, that would build into more inflation. I mean, people would feel better at the moment, but if they use that $2,000 to buy another big screen TV or a phone or something else that does not assist them with getting further ahead, like paying for debts, fixing vehicles, things like that, would actually stimulate the economy. But the amount of debt that we're already in, and then adding another couple $1 billion to it, it's not going to help.
All right. Well, I'm Joe.
And I'm Brad. This is BS with Joe.
Yep.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you.